Good morning everyone. Let us learn about few terminology related to research methodology. Research, a scientific method of understanding relationship between variables by observation and experimentation method. The second definition can be detailed and careful scientific study of a specific problem and concluding it with a tentative or possible result or solution. Hypothesis. It's empirically testable proposition about some fact, behavior, and the relationship based on the theoretical facts. And this also states that the expected outcome resulting from the specific conditions or assumptions. Usually, the hypotheses are seen as if or then statements. Example: if children given bottle feeding during the night time and keeping that teeth inside the mouth, it may lead to dental caries or dental cavities. Second example can be a children who is given plenty of chocolates may develop dental caries. Problem. A question raised for an inquiry, consideration or a solution is called as a problem. Second definition can be a problem is an intricate, unsettled question. Intricate means very difficult or too complex. Example, algebraic equations. Independent variable. The name itself indicates independent, which is not influenced by any other. So it is a variable which is not changed by any other variable and it stands alone, not influenced by any other. Example, age, height, weight, etc. It is also called as predictor variable. Dependent variable. It is a variable which is dependent on other variable and it's one that going to be measured. It is also called as outcome variable. Example, nutritional status is improved by taking healthy diet. Here, nutritional status is dependent variable which is dependent on taking the highly nutritious diet, that is independent variable. Okay, that cannot be changed. So if we take nutritious diet, the nutritional status will be improved, that is outcome. The status, nutritional status is outcome, so it is called as a dependent variable. Reliability. The consistency of any test result is reliability. It should yield same result wherever, whenever, by whomever the test is replicated. The replicable test gives same result irrespective of different situations. Reliability coefficient. It is produced when two scores are correlated. So the consistency of any score is called coefficient. Validity. It measures what it's supposed to measure. It's the extent to which a test measures it claims to measure. Any test should be valid to get accurate test results and for better interpretation. Projective test. It's a type of personality test designed to reveal hidden inner emotions, conflicts in an individual. Example, Rorschach impact test, thematic app perception test. Variables. Attributes are more collectively called as variables. So, collection of attributes can be termed as variables. Measurement. It is the process of assigning numbers or scores to the characteristics or attributes of objects or people. Battery. Group of tests, series of tests administered as a single unit or a single test in order to obtain comprehensive assessment of a particular factor or phenomenon. So battery means group of tests. For example, DBDA, where we will be conducting different 5 to 6 or 8 tests, so that as a single unit we will be getting the result. Norms. These are the standard performance of group of pupils in a test. A person's performance in any psychological and educational test is recorded and measured in terms of norms. Example, STEN score or STEN scale. Correlation. It's the degree of linear relationship between the two variables. Correlation coefficient. A single number representing a degree of relation between two variables. Correlation coefficient of 0 indicates there is no relationship between variables, whereas +1 indicates positive relation and -1 indicates negative relation. It's very clear that we rarely find perfect correlation. G-score. It's a standard score which tells exactly where sample means are located in relation to all other possible sample means. This can be the distance between location and the mean in terms of standard deviation. Standard deviation. SD measures the distance between a score and population mean. SD is equal to x minus m. Standard error. This measures the standard distance between a sample mean and population mean. SE is equal to m minus mu. Mean. Sum of all scores divided by total number of scores. It's the function of every score. Median. It's the number that divides the distribution in half. So, it's the middle value when observations are ordered from least to most or vice versa. Mode. It's the value of most frequent observations in a set of scores. Range. It is defined as difference between highest and lowest scores in a distribution. So, range is equal to highest score minus lowest score. Standard deviation. It's the measure of variability of a test of a set of scores or values within a group, indicating how narrowly or broadly they deviate from the mean. Quartile deviation. It's a measure of dispersion or spread. It's the degree to which a set of scores deviate from the mean. Kurtosis. It's a statistical description of a degree of peakedness of the distribution. Floor effect. The situation in which majority of the participants scores badly or low. Example, very low scores if the exam is too tough. Ceiling effect. Situation where the majority of students scores high marks on a test. Example, every one of the participant in a test scores nearly more than 90 to 95 marks when the test is too easy. So the clue here to remember the floor and ceiling effects are, floor means bottom, very low. Okay, so mean very lowest marks. Even the intelligent will be getting low marks. Ceiling means we have to remember top. Okay, it will be always on the top, above head. So the marks will be so high, even more than 95 or 98 for everyone because the test is easy. Okay, that is floor and ceiling effect, easy trick to remember. Skewness. It's nothing but the measure of symmetry. To be more accurate or precisely speaking, it is lack of symmetry. Kurtosis. It measures whether the data is heavily tailed or lightly tailed. That is called kurtosis. Regression. It's a statistical technique which attempts to determine the strength and character of relationship between one dependent variable and other independent variables. Parametric statistics. Statistical procedure. Those are based on assumptions and distribution of attributes in the population being tested. Example, there is normal distribution of values. Non-parametric statistics. Distribution of attributes in a population which is being tested are not necessarily applicable. That is nature of the non-parametric statistics. Chi-square test. It's the sum of square differences between observed scores in a dataset or expected values. Sign test. It's a single parametric procedure used to determine whether a sample has the same median value as another sample or reference population. Wilcoxon sign rank test. It determines whether the total ranks in two given related groups are significantly different or not. Pearson Correlation. This is R, small r. It is given by Carl Pearson. It is an index of degree of linear relationship between two variables. Spearman correlation. Describe the statistical dependence between two variables which are measured on an ordinal scale. Rank order correlation coefficient. It's a numerical index which reflects the degree of relationship between two variables which are arranged in ascending or descending order. Partial correlation. It's a statistical measure which removes the effect of confounding variables in the experiment. Factorial design. It's an experimental design based on two or more categorical variables which are simultaneously manipulated. Characteristics of a test. To be called a test an ideal test, it should meet some objectives, that is some parameters. They can be objectivity, reliability, validity, norms and practicability. All these 5 are essential aspects of test construction. Steps in test construction. They can be planning, item writing, item writing analysis, reliability analysis, validity analysis, establishing norms, developing complete manual of the test. Item writing. Forming questions in a test is called as item writing. So it is a basic and fundamental aspect of any test. Means question formation, or we can say item formation is called as item writing. Item difficulty. It refers to how difficult or easy the questions are in a given test. So item difficulty decides the difficulty or easiness of the questions in a given test. The ideal difficulty value should be between 40 to 60. Index discrimination. It's also called as item validity index. It's nothing but how well a single item discriminates between superiors and inferiors on a trait. So item should have at least 20 correlations with total score to have sufficient discrimination power. This is about a few words related to research methodology. Thank you very much.